Right, Chaz, welcome back. It's Boxing Day, December 26th, 2025.
Do you wish we here in the United States of America celebrated Boxing Day? Do you feel a little let down after Christmas and you would like one more thing to celebrate?
We're celebrating Boxing Day today.
Great. How do you celebrate Boxing Day?
So Boxing Day is not a celebration, but I'll tell you how we're celebrating. Boxing Day specifically is gifting to the less fortunate. So on Christmas, you likely receive more than you need. You end up the next day with stuff that maybe you'll use and then a bunch of stuff that maybe you won't use. So the idea is to then pay it forward, pass it down.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I think the term probably comes from the gifts are in a box and you're essentially re-gifting to those less fortunate.
Well, man, who are you re-gifting to today?
Well, so we're only doing the celebration portion, which is not even part of the tradition or ritual. But our friends are just, we have a British friend, and so she's just throwing a little party. I think it's bigger in Britain.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think Australia and Britain do take their Boxing Day seriously. We
should take it more serious. Even though we are not bringing any gifts and we're not re-gifting, we have way too much, and we should be doing this. As Americans, we can actually take the horns on this one, and I think do it even better than the Brits.
Absolutely. And I feel that it's something we need right on the heels of Christmas, where we all indulged ourselves and our loved ones. Then the day after, to be more human, to go give back.
Totally. Fully agree. Did you overindulge yesterday?
No. I mean, it was a lot of indulgence, but woke up this morning feeling fit as a fiddle, so must not have overindulged. It was like a non-stop eating, drinking day.
So when do you start the drinking on the 26th? Or have you already?
No, I haven't. I don't really have even the urge, which means that I must have really done okay yesterday. I kept it clean. That was the thing yesterday. Oh, no, I didn't. What am I talking about?
What does clean mean?
Well, I was going to think that I, kept a consistent alcohol going, but I absolutely did not.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to open a bottle of champagne for this recording.
Oh, man. I think I think it got killed. We had a great magnum of rosé champagne that was phenomenal.
Do you know which producer?
No, I should go I'll grab the bottle and tell you afterwards.
Send me a photo. I was like, I almost opened a bottle of champagne for this recording, just because we got nothing else to do. This is like my only work that I have to do today is record this. So why not just celebrate? But much like you, I had zero craving. I'm like, if I'm opening it just out of like a celebratory thing, then I probably don't need to open it. So to like fend off a little bit more alcohol intake,
What was your drinking yesterday? How did it look? What was the coaster on that one?
So we hosted, but dinner wasn't until 4:00. But I was in the kitchen for most of the middle of the day. So I think I opened a bottle of champagne probably around noon.
Okay.
Sipped on that. And then when guests came, I had an arrival cocktail. So transitioned. It was sour cherry bourbon slush.
Nice.
So what I did was ginger beer, lemon juice, lemon zest, honey, and fresh ginger that's like grated. Froze all of that. Poured that into like a baking dish, like you would put a cake in. Froze it. And then when people come, you just scrape off the slush, like break up the ice into a slush, put the slush in a glass, pour bourbon over it, and then throw a Luxardo cherry on top.
The fancy welcome cocktail. Do you ever get people who overconsume, because I feel the welcome cocktail, 1-2 maximum, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like that's the whole point, is kind of a little celebratory, let's get in the mood, and then you move off it. But I've been places before where the people will can go back. That welcome cocktail is so good. People go back for seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths.
Well, look, I think the problem is for a lot of people who maybe they're going to have some wine with dinner, but maybe they don't normally drink hard liquor. They show up, you have a welcome cocktail, and they're like, oh, I guess I will partake in this, even though I don't normally. So they have the welcome cocktail. They like it a lot. Like you said, maybe they go back for a second. Then they're at dinner and they're continuing their wine consumption. And it's
Yep.
just more than they bargained for.
Yep. Get loud.
Well,
Ornery.
I also had an exit cocktail.
Nice. Was it a aperitif?
It was a classic eggnog. So
Nice.
I made the eggnog myself, and then dosed it with booze, and that was a bridge too far even for me.
Oh man, like you had one and we're like, oops, didn't need that. Didn't need the exit.
I poured a small glass for whoever wanted it, but even a small glass of eggnog is twice as much as you need.
Yeah, really. I got gifted from daughter's boyfriend's dad a bottle of homemade eggnog. And I was like, that's great and wonderful and kind. And I'm going to nip off that thing once or twice, and then it's going to sit in the fridge until it spoils, and then I'll dump it down the sink, and there will go the eggnog.
I love the idea of it. I love having it present. I just don't love drinking it.
It's just heavy. I mean, I could see drinking some eggnog and then going to the gym and really pump an iron just to, get that protein in there.
That's it. It's a lot of dairy.
Yeah.
I just had a sip and I was like, delightful. Second sip, I'm like, probably don't need any more of this. But you find yourself, you just have the glass in your hand, so you nurse it. And by the end, you're like, that was a complete waste of time.
I'm so full. I'm so full. Did anyone pour a large glass of nog and just like, oh, this is what I wait for at the Christmas season?
Nope. And those of us who were drinking it all looked around and had the exact same thought that I just shared with you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, man, thanks for going through the effort. This is very festive, but don't be offended if I don't finish it.
I suppose that eggnog really, truly, you got to be somewhere like freezing cold outside. You need somewhere where you're going to go outside and it's so cold that your body is just cooking off its reserves to keep warm. And now all of a sudden you got dairy and rum, and that's the perfect fire.
I think specifically that scenario, but you're freezing, you're outdoors, stranded somehow, freezing, and it's a St. Bernard with a barrel around its neck who shows up to rescue you, and that's the drink that he has in the barrel.
With nog. Yep.
And you're like,
Great
oh,
call.
okay, this is now life-saving.
Yeah.
In any other scenario, it's not as good. So the interesting thing is today we've entered into the lost week.
Yes.
The week in between Christmas and New Year's, where it's really time has no meaning.
I thought about that this morning too, and was trying to think of how I felt. Yeah, something weird. I need to go start drinking right now, I suppose, because woke up clear-headed, thought, sitting out staring down the barrel of this lost week, I'm gonna get work done. I'm gonna do things that I typically don't do. I'm gonna put my head down and use this time.
You typically don't do that?
No, I think typically I'm like, woohoo! This is like lost week. Let's just...
Oh, typically on the lost week, not typically throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, typically on the lost week, I'm like not doing nothing. But this week, for some reason, I woke up and I purposed to do stuff.
I'll check in with you next week, see how that works out.
Yeah, let's see. Well, the weird thing is, I'll tell you what, last week I usually loved or used to love watching sports, right? I am a sport watching kind of dude. Don't really have favorite teams, but like watching sports. The last couple weeks I realized I don't care to watch sports anymore. It's weird. Didn't turn on the TV once yesterday, even though it was a full slate of NBA and NFL games. Wasn't even tempted. Not tempted today. Not going to even turn it on tomorrow.
Time to get work done.
I mean, exactly. So I guess I'm filling the sport vacuum with work.
See, I feel like I generally have done work during the lost week, and this is the first time where I feel like I'm going to abandon all my obligations.
I mean, you can.
I'm going to break from routine. Yeah, nobody's expecting much of you this week. Today's technically a work day. It's a Friday. But because of the landing of the holidays, it's like really nobody's working very hard today. And then early next week, prior to New Year's, nobody's going to expect anything of you.
This when Christmas / New Year's falls on Thursday or Wednesday. It's maximum.
It is.
Like you can waste basically you can waste 2 whole weeks.
I totally agree. And I am going to take full advantage of this. I'm going to abandon my obligations, break from routine. take naps, extend my bedtime, maybe to midnight even.
Yeah.
I'm going all in. It's
Wild days.
It's very hard for me to relax, just period, full stop, throughout the year. And so I think even in other years in the lost week, I'm like, I could take advantage of the downtime. I can get work done that I haven't gotten done in a while. But I realize now I never relax. Even if there's no work to be done, I feel an obligation to my family. I'm like, oh, I should be spending more time with the kid. I should be cooking. I should be cleaning. I just can't relax ever. And so this week I see as an opportunity just to take forced relaxation, take off all the responsibility.
So I'm looking at young daughter here, homework free since since last Wednesday, right? So I think I gave her some homework on Tuesday, some schoolwork she had to do. But then it was theater week, Nutcracker, etc., etc. So no school. And I'm just looking at her having fun. She got a Nintendo Switch 2 for Christmas, loves playing Fortnite, was just having a great time yesterday, playing Fortnite, just lazing around. I'm like, you kid should be doing a little bit of homework every day, just because the shocker when the school starts back up again, it's going to be harsh.
Yeah. Well, maybe she deserves it less than I do. I'm used to going overboard all the time, so I need a week of no homework.
Yeah, I know. But man, that crash back into regular life, when you take time off, I always think, was that worth it? Was it worth it to take time off? Because now I feel bad.
Well, that's exactly, I went through that thought process with this recording today. I texted Chaz an hour or two ago and I was like, hey, what's your motivation level for recording today? Because I could be talked into it or out of it, hoping you would be like, I'm
out of it.
I'm out of it. Yeah, let's not do it. But I thought through that scenario in my head and I go, if I don't do anything today, I'm going to feel like a piece of crap. So let's just go do a light one, a holiday reflective piece. And that's a little enough work.
You have a treat as soon as we hang up the mics, or you have an excuse to treat yourself.
Yes.
Like,
no, I do.
Without this, you wouldn't have had an excuse. You would have just been having another treat.
Save the champagne till after this.
Yep. Boom.
Speaking of treats, I had an epiphany this year, or from scrolling Instagram the last 12 hours. It feels like prime rib took over as the centerpiece of everybody's table this year for Christmas. Is that always the case, or did I just notice it this year?
No, I think what's happening is, so I noticed, or I finally put two and two together here. Was watching, so young daughter has been trying to bake, right? She's horrible at it. She wrecks everything so badly that its wife will come in furious because she's now wasted a, whole whatever cup of butter that's, and a bunch of eggs and all that on some monstrosity that is inedible. And she keeps wanting to bake. And then I was like, why do you want to bake? I didn't understand. But then the other day yesterday, I saw her scrolling a food, Instagram food influencer, right? And I was like, I get it. So Instagram food influencing obviously is huge. It never comes into my feed. But watching it through hers, I could see how appealing this is. It's like this real, something cathartic about watching it and then thinking you can do it too, right? Yeah. And she is like me. So doesn't follow instructions well. She wants the feeling of it without doing the work of it. All to say, though, food Instagram influencers are why prime rib is everywhere. So there must be a major one of those, or a major couple of them, that were smash tradition with this, out with the turkey, in with, it's a new thing. And then everybody did the new thing.
I think
together.
You're right, because that's why I did a prime rib this year. I've never done it in the past, but about a month ago, I saw an Instagram and it looked incredible. And then probably I saved it and I might have even shared it, sent it to my wife. And as a result of that, I got fed 32 other prime ribs over the course of the last month. And now I'm watching those reels multiple times. So it's recognizing that I'm engaging with prime rib. And somehow it hit, I don't know what it, singularity.
Yes.
Or the internet. This just happens at times. This year, that seems what it is. So then in the last 12 hours, as I've been scrolling, every person I know, that's what they had.
See, and this is, I feel it's one of those things like it was the perfect time and perfect place for the prime rib, because prime rib, everybody knows it's fancy. Everybody knows it's like not something you do every day, right? It's like the perfect holiday food to make. But I feel it's also fallen a bit out of fashion. Like,
Yes,
you know, prime rib was grandma and grandpa's thing.
Yep.
You know, our generation hasn't really done it. And so it was prime, forgive the pun, prime for a comeback. It was like the perfect food to come back, and bam, singularity.
The other thing is it's got a lot of grace window in the cook time.
Yep.
Like you can do a lot to it prior if you want to go for a brine and a rub. Like I did mine 48 hours out. I was working on it, you know? But if you just want to work on it the day of, you can do that too.
Sure.
And then the cook time, you can get off by 45 minutes one way or the other, and it's still edible and delicious. So there's a lot of other things that you have to be more precise with. Prime ribs, user-friendly.
Did you have a jus along the side?
I did a au jus on the side and a horseradish.
Horseradish cream or freshly grated?
I did prepared horseradish with sour cream, with a little bit of soy sauce and balsamic vinegar, lemon juice, chives, and I think that might have been it.
Man, that just sounds as fine as can be right there.
So freaking good, dude. And peas and onions and Yorkshire pudding and a potato, a certain type of potato. All those combinations of flavors meld together beautifully. So as it starts to come together in the middle of the plate, those last 10 bites are far superior to the separated bites at the beginning.
Will you reprise the prime rib? Were you thinking, yeah, it's time to put prime rib into rotation? Why is this falling out of fashion?
100%. And it's cheap. It's like $9 a pound.
I was at the butcher the other day, or the butcher wind desk. What is it called? Butcher zone? Butcher. What's the butcher area called in the grocery store?
I went to the butcher. It's just the butcher.
The butcher place. And heard some dude loudly opining that he hates prime rib. One of the butchers, like, I hate it. I hate prime rib. And you know when you hear opinions like that and then you think about it, and initially sometimes I'm like, okay, this guy's bucking the trend, so he's probably right. It's prime rib is one of these things that's overrated. And then I was thinking about prime rib. I was like, no, this dude's fully wrong. Like prime rib as maybe just a meat by itself, I could see how you could not hate it, but it wouldn't be your favorite. But it's those fixins. It's that jus and that horseradish, and then the blending of, like, I don't know, the cohesiveness those things bring that's why you eat prime rib. You don't eat it for the prime rib itself.
No, it's when else do you eat horseradish throughout the year? Very rarely.
Prime rib.
Yeah.
When I go to Arby's and get a prime rib, Arby's sandwich and get horsey sauce.
Butcher department.
Is it a department?
That's
what do they say when they call in and they say butcher zone? You have a call. Butcher
department.
Is it a department?
I would say. I think that's the correct term. I don't know what they use colloquially.
What's the produce
department
area? Are they all departments?
I think so. They tried to get really professional at one point, and that's what they said.
Good. Okay. I like it.
Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about surfing, even though it's a lost week show. Who's Monty Weber at Beach Grit?
I have no idea. Monty Weber's really taken over Beach Grit's writing department.
So he's working with Derek then?
Yeah, I think I'm assuming, reading between the lines, that he lives in Bondi, maybe a family friend of Derek, though I don't know. It's sometimes great. Beach Grit is as much a mystery to me as it is to anyone often.
You should do a series of articles on Beach Grit investigating who is Monty Weber.
Who is Monty Weber? Yeah, I should. But just go at it from here. Don't ever ask Derek who he is. Exactly. I haven't asked Derek yet either.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. More to come on that story. Do you think that's his real name?
Yes, because it sounds like the way he writes reads like Monty Weber.
Okay.
So he either picked a pen name that is very reflective. It's funny. Have you read any of his stuff?
I have not. No. Sorry,
Yeah.
Monty.
I mean, I haven't read much of it, but there's vitriol in the comments about it. People hate it.
Hate him?
They hate his writing. They hate his writing style. It seems like they hate his ideas. Seems like there's not a big Monty Weber fan club down below the line.
Now I'm in.
Yeah. So I've only read, I got to read his latest, I suppose, because I read it and it didn't sound great, but it didn't seem offensive either.
Okay. If you would have said his stuff's really great, I'd not be inclined to read it at all.
Yes.
You telling me this, now I'm inclined to click over and check it out.
And I would love your opinion on why people, and I'll form an opinion today too. I'm going to go in and read a couple of his surf pieces. His pieces on, Israel, I get why those cause consternation. But the regular surf stuff, I'm like, well, it's not great, but I don't think it's that bad.
Well, Monty Weber, I don't know if you've forayed into the surf space prior and put some work out there, but chin up, take the punches. It happens to the best of us. When you're getting new into something, you're going to get some flack, and it's not a reflection of you as a person or your character. So chin up, keep it going.
Or it might be. If it lasts for like 3 or 4 years, then it might be a reflection of your character and your personhood.
How many years are you in of getting flack on the internet?
I'm like a good probably 20 years of copping it.
I read your story about getting blocked by Kelly on Christmas morning.
Yes.
And some of the comments there, I was like, man, vicious. People are vicious.
Oh, I didn't even go in and read the comments. I got to come back. and enjoy those comments.
Good luck enjoying them.
Thank you.
maybe try and maybe avoid them. I don't know how thick your skin is at this point, but
somebody said in one, I think it was on one of the Monty Weber's articles, somebody was like, or they said more Monty Weber, less Chaz Smith. And then there was some defense of below it. And one of the defenses was Chaz has thicker skin than anyone on here, which I thought, that's a real compliment. Thanks for that.
Is it true? Do you have?
I think so. Okay. I mean, I feel that I do what I do there and is what it is. And some people like, some people don't like. If Beach Grit was my entire writing space, I might feel bad about it. I would both feel bad about myself for not putting as much work in as I should. And I would feel bad that my work is being, people think it's trash. But since it's not, Beach Grit is what it is. It's not a place for, sometimes I write seriously there, but typically it is just a little amuse-bouche, as they say.
Well, is Kelly Slater, so the story is you woke up yesterday morning, Christmas morning, and found out that he had blocked your current account. Is he the most famous person to have blocked you?
I don't know, but it's got to be up there, right? Like, I don't think
it would be.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing about this is I was just thinking what a petty, like, to be so good at something, to be so renowned, to be so successful, all the superlatives that we could put both before and after Kelly Slater's name. He went out of his way. I'm not I'm not trolling him on his Instagram, right? I've never once commented on his, as the story goes, or as I wrote yesterday. Kelly obviously had me blocked on my old, whatever it was called, surf journalist account, which was larger. It wasn't big, but it was, I can't remember, 20,000 or something people on there. And now then Ricardo Toledo, mustered the Brazilian masses to cancel that one. And David Lee Scales talked me into starting a new one because I was going to be done with it all. And so I started a new one. But I thought, this one, I'm not going to go out and, do stuff every day. It'll just be kind of a peek into a life. And it's a platform where I can mostly communicate with listeners or readers or whatever, DMs. And, it's valuable there. I enjoy it, but less kind of forward stuff, more backward stuff getting out of it. Yeah. So again, started this thing. And of course, since I started it, I'm unblocked by Kelly. So every once in a while I can swing in and see what Kelly's up to. But again, never once trolled him, never left a message, have never trolled anyone on Instagram. I'm not there, in anybody else's comments too, trolling. And so that means Kelly Slater went out of his way to find me, my new account, and block it again. Like, to what end? What have I been doing? How I had a year of looking at your life. Did I do something in that year that?
Yes.
I mean, I've done a lot, but people always send me screenshots and whatever Kelly does. I don't need to look at his account. Anytime he does something that's noteworthy or funny or weird or stupid, I get sent it.
That may be, but that's one additional speed block for the information to get to you. So I think it's a reflection of he as a kid. And so now he's feeling a certain amount of protectiveness and vulnerability. And so you have written about him and the kid and that sort of thing. And he's like, I just don't want you to be talking about any of this. This is the one measure I can take. I think that's it.
I mean, A, petty, B, stupid, Kelly Slater. If he doesn't want, it'd be real easy, right? This kind of business, he pokes me with a stick when he blocks me. And I think, well, this is going to be fun. Now I'm going to have another 6 months of fun at Kelly Slater's expense. I know it's been 10 years of fun at Kelly Slater's expense, but all of that would have gone away if Kelly would show even a modicum of self-awareness. Then it wouldn't be funny to me anymore, right? Yeah. Like, how many times like Sam George, for example, right? Sam George, poking pretty heavy fun of Sam George. Met Sam George at the Florida Surf Film Festival, and such a great self-aware dude that it's not enjoyable for me to make fun of him anymore, right? If he does something egregious, and he told me, he said, please don't stop, right? Like, call me out. It's good. And if he does something egregious, then I will, but I don't have it's not part of my daily Rolodex of make fun of Sam George the way it was. Kelly Slater is in the daily. Make fun of Kelly Slater today. Wake up, look at the calendar. Oh, on the to-do list, make fun of Kelly Slater is either 2, 3, or 4.
The biggest celebrity, quote unquote, that I've been blocked by, to my awareness, is Joe Turpel.
Joe Turpel, like what?
And I have no idea why.
Yeah. What is it? Did you say something? Okay. Do you think it's just the fact that we drone on about the WSL here, and also that you do with Scott Bass probably, and et cetera? And he was just like, this guy's got it out for me. I'm blocking him.
So possibly his affiliation with the WSL and our commentary about the WSL, there is a line there somewhere. And then my affiliation with you is a secondary thing. And I know you've said worse things about him than I ever have, for sure. And yet you're not blocked by Joe Turpel.
Are you sure?
Last time I asked you about it was probably a year ago. You were not blocked and I was. And that's where I was confused. Because I'm like, if anybody's going to get blocked by Joe Turpel, between you and I and the things that we say about the WSL and or him, it would be you before me.
Joe, nope, totally unblocked.
Told you.
Free and clear. How? Yeah. So that means that means you said something is Scott Bass blocked?
No. And Scott knows him on a not personal level, but I think like Scott recorded a podcast with him at some point. So they know of one another. So I think there's a possibility that nobody knows the difference, or not everybody knows the difference between you and I.
Yeah. And so he blocked. It's just like, oh man, I'm showing the daughter Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story today. She got sick. I feel this is the perfect sick movie. But what I hear you saying is the wrong son died.
I forgot about that. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, it's really good. I just watched the trailer and was just busting up laughing. But that's what you're telling me. You're telling me Joe Turpel accidentally killed you when he thought he was killing me.
Look, maybe I should just take responsibility for my actions and not try to point the finger at you. I just don't know what my action was, and there's other logical explanations that make more sense to me. I mean, the funny thing is, I don't care. I don't even know how I figured it out. I think there was something that happened. I went to go see what he said. I don't even remember. Anyways, That's my biggest celebrity that I've been blocked by.
There's something really frustrating, I will say, about being blocked is when the frustrating part about it is before you know you're blocked. When you keep on typing, I swear I'm spelling it right.
Right, exactly.
You're in, and just, how's this not coming? What? You're like, keep spelling. And then you finally realize, because it should just do you the favor. Like when I, at search Kelly Slater Waveco comes up, Kelly Slater, just Kelly Slater doesn't come up. So I have to Google at Kelly Slater Instagram, and then you see Kelly Slater at Kelly Slater. Then you click on it, and then it comes up with this person doesn't exist or the thing is broken. Why don't they just tell you? Why don't they just say person blocked you?
They should save you all the effort.
Yeah. Just you've been blocked.
So there's, in the spirit of Christmas, 2 blood feuds that we have to discuss this week. And one is, in fact, Kelly Slater and Dave Rostovich, which I did not see coming.
No, that was on nobody's Christmas bingo card.
Not at all. And I fully enjoyed the Dave Rostovich story about Kelly.
Yeah.
And I fully enjoy Rostovich. He always delivers the way that he delivers the story, the details in the story, it's just great. Like, he's great. I love hearing from him. And then to see Kelly's response to it, I was like shocked.
I mean, but again, this is exactly what we've been talking about.
I know.
Kelly Slater's petty, small-minded, totally self-unaware, or self-consumed in a way, where he read a story that did not, it was just nice texture onto what everyone already knows about Kelly Slater. That Kelly Slater is a competitive freak in and out of the water. That he can't not compete. That's why he's the greatest competitive surfer ever, right?
Yeah.
That was Dave Rostovich's story, correct?
So Dave Rostovich, he told this story on the podcast that he hosts with his wife. I believe they're married. Lauren Hill, Dave Rostovich. It's called Water People. And they had Sterling Spencer on. And they were talking about the footage that was in the electric acid surfboard test that Dave was the test pilot in. They were surfing a spot in Australia. Waves are flawless. It was just the two of them out. And Kelly was battling him. And it comes to a head in the story with a particular set that comes through. Dave's in position. Kelly tries to bait him into going the first one. Dave's looking at him like, dude, you're tripping. Like, I've surfed here my whole life. I know that's not the one. There's a one behind it. I could see it. It's right there. I'm going to go get that one. Then Kelly basically starts to battle him for the wave, even though Dave's clearly in position and isn't going to miss the wave. And Dave even laughs and says that. He goes, dude, I'm not going to not catch the wave. I know how to catch the wave. I've been here my whole life. Kelly paddles shoulder to shoulder with Dave as if it's a competition. Again, nobody in the lineup. And there's probably more sets right behind it, shoulder to shoulder until Dave actually gets to his feet. He's like, he did not stop paddling until I got to my feet. And I was just laughing like, oh my God, this guy's hyper competitive. Dave's laughing about it. That's how he tells the story. So Kelly comes in the comments section and he's like, wow, I did that as a joke. You would think Dave would know how to take a joke or something like that. And it's like, no, Kelly, we know, everybody knows you're hyper competitive. That is well understood. It's factual. Like, I don't know why you're even not admitting to being hyper competitive.
To come in swinging and say Dave Rostovich can't take a joke.
Yeah.
When you're Kelly Slater and literally, truly, honestly cannot take a joke. Like, who do you think people are going to believe? And then to go publicly do that, right? Like,
it was weird.
Even if he texted Rostovich and said, hey, Rasta, I can't believe you aired that story. I was totally kidding, whatever. Like, that would be dumb too. To go put your stupidity publicly on blast everywhere is a whole nother level of, again, complete lack of self-awareness that dude has. Like,
it was really
everyone
weird.
knows, Kelly. Everyone knows that that wasn't a joke, A. You were the one without a sense of humor, B. And why are you just showcasing that?
And Rostovich's story was lighthearted. It wasn't like he was trying to poke Slater in the eye.
No,
he wasn't
it wasn't
calling
even
him
like
a bad
Kelly burned
person.
me.
No, and he wasn't even revealing something about Kelly that is a shock to the world. Kelly is synonymous with being hyper competitive. He has 11 world titles to prove it. Like, there's no question about hyper competition. It was just one more story about him being hyper competitive, and Rostovich was laughing about it. He wasn't even offended by Kelly's behavior in the water. That wasn't the story. So yeah, for Kelly to take umbrage with the thought of him being hyper competitive is wild.
It's just, I mean, again, that dude just has zero self-awareness. That's all it is.
The funny thing too is he tagged Rostovich in the comment. Rostovich isn't even on Instagram. Like he has that account, which presumably is his, but he's definitely not using it. I think he's posted once every 3 years. He's not commenting ever anywhere. Definitely don't think he's checking his notifications. So Kelly tagging him to have that commentary back and forth is like, to what end?
I mean, it's complete. Kelly, I suppose, and Donald J. Trump are just one and the same when it comes to social media. There is no president of the United States, arguably most famous surfer alive. There's no buddy too small, no issue too minor, no, grievance too like beneath them.
Yeah.
They won't go and spend apparently a good third of their day on their preferred social medias chatting, talking, defending, debating, opining on things that you'd think, how in the world is this even in your orbit of time? Like, you got to be, there's 1,000 better things you could be doing. B, you're probably doing 1,000 better things also. And so why are you doing this too? Just knock it off.
It goes back to my inability to relax. Maybe he just can't relax either. You just got to stay frenzied at all times.
So you just get on Instagram and just frenzy out, commenting, like debating people with 18 followers, blocking people with 1,000 followers.
So perfect segue to our second blood feud this week, which is Joel Tudor nearly disemboweled after mistimed pipe drop is the headline from Beach Grit. And I guess I'll explain the story first and then I can explain the thought that I was just having. But is the kid's name Maddix? Alotis?
I think so. Alotis. Yeah. Alotis or Alotis or whatever.
So Maddix Alotis, incredible surfer, surfs Jaws, surfs pipe, does big airs. I think he's on Florence now. Anyways, he dropped into a sick one at pipe and got blown out. Joel Tudor was on the shoulder, took off on the shoulder in no position to even get barreled. And as he starts to tuck into the barrel, Maddix comes flying out with the spit. And so that's where the headline of nearly disemboweled after the mistimed pipe drop comes in. But Maddix posted it on Instagram and said, "Woo, I almost hit this guy." Doesn't identify it as Joel. It's clearly Joel. Joel jumps in the comments section and basically said, "Yeah, I did that on purpose. That's what happens when you get a wave and then paddle straight back out into position, basically back paddle me, and go on the very next wave. You're going to get dropped in on. Your 3 years at pipe don't amount to much compared to my 36 years at pipe." And he left it at that. And then the comments section almost unanimously came in swinging for Maddix, in defense of Maddix, against Joel and his wrong-headedness on the situation. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, I like Kelly Slater. Joel just couldn't leave. Like, if you're going to go in there and comment, you'd say, "Hey, dude, whatever you say," right? You don't give a lesson on "you can't back paddle me." If Joel hadn't been so far out on the shoulder, then obviously, if Joel would have been in the mix too, and Joel was a half football field, 50 yards away from the takeoff spot.
Yeah.
That's not backpedaling anymore. Like, you guys are basically surfing a different wave. So
yeah, you're not battling him for positioning.
No, that's what I don't get, how you claim that's back. So then anyone who went and paddled to the peak was also backpedaling Joel. I just didn't understand the logic there when you're that far out on the shoulder.
I agree with you. Well, certainly at pipe, when there's 200 people, there's 100 people in the lineup. There's no way to keep track of, I'm 76th in line.
Yeah.
When there's that many people at that spot, it really does come down to a matter of positioning and just outmaneuvering people. So Joel might think that he deserves a turn because he's a 3-time world champ and he has, 36 years out there, but not everybody else is going to play by those rules. And clearly Maddix isn't. And Maddix is willing to post the clip.
And like to a greater degree than Kelly's. Like Kelly's, couldn't you tell I was joking, was just a bad reflection of Kelly. But, and again, I can't get in there to the comments to read them. But if I could, I can't imagine a lot of people were like, you're a dumbass, Kelly. Right? I'm sure there were some people who said that. But I would imagine most, like, whatever. There's no need to really respond to that.
Yeah.
Joel just like threw the barn door wide open and he said, come stab me with any pitchfork you have, because like that's, again, it was an egregious drop in from the shoulder on a dude who was getting absolutely shacked on a pipe bear, like runner. Right. I mean, that was and so I don't know if you're Joel, if you thought people were going to say, yeah, Maddix, young whippersnapper, respect your elders. Who is was that the response he was expecting? And then for Joel too, I'm blocked, so I only can get screenshots of people. Joel has me blocked as well. But Joel then going back and fighting some of them, saying, "I don't care what you think. You know, I don't care." Well, clearly, you obviously care. You cared enough to go throw down in the comments, and then don't say you don't care when you very, very visibly care.
So my thought that I was going to connect to the Kelly and Donald Trump commentary is that Joel, there's a certain level of strategy here. I do believe that Joel feels sincerely the way he feels, and I do feel like he has some impulse to comment that maybe he can't control. But the strategy is that Joel has maintained a high level of awareness in the surf world due to him being provocative.
Yeah.
So you can draw a direct line between his income from sponsors and his provocation, because you cannot think of any other longboarder, doesn't matter how many titles, who has maintained this level of relevance and awareness in the surf culture as well as he has. And the argument against me, Joel fans who are thinking, no, you idiot, it's because he is an incredible surfer. My argument back against that is there's incredible surfers all over, even world title holders, you know, who have faded away into obscurity because they're just not interested in playing this song and dance, or they're not interested in having a social profile, posting on Instagram, that sort of thing. And so Joel could do that in a myriad of ways, but the way that he's chosen is through constant commentary on anything and everything that's happening in surfing, having an opinion on it and sharing his opinion on it. And they're often provocative. And I think the more, given the way the algorithm works, the more provocative, the better. And he's willing to do it. And he's down to, you know, he's down to actually fight somebody if they want to fight about it. And so I think he's living in a really, like, he's in kind of rarefied air. He's done it.
I mean, I suppose you're exactly right. And that is a great call. And a unifying thread between Trump, Tudor, and Slater is, I think, to some degree, they're all shameless when it comes to self-promotion, where you or I don't have huge, massive followings and aren't, you know, obviously because maybe we don't have talent as well. But even if we did have a great talent, right? I have too much shame to be able to go provoke all the time. I do it in my way, right? But I'm even shameful about the degrees in which I provoke often. Slater, Tudor, Donald Trump, shameless, absolutely shameless. And that's, I think, you need, or especially in this day and age, that's one ingredient that takes you to the moon.
I think the other ingredient there is fully believing your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And not, and my thoughts always come with a retarder on them, which is like, I believe this enough to say it, but I might be wrong. And if somebody tells me I'm wrong, I'm going to have to assess what they say, compare it to what I said, think it through critically, and then maybe come out the other end still feeling the way that I felt, or maybe feeling adjusted, or maybe believing them. That's with everything that I share.
I think now at this point as well, like early on, I had no body of work, so there was nothing to look back on. Now I look back on the stuff I was doing like 20 years ago a lot, and I'm thinking that's not aging well. That didn't age well. Like I can look back, and so I know I have a track record of looking back and saying some things that I said or wrote aged poorly, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that today, I know that some things, and I try more not to say things that are going to age poorly, but you can't help it if you're always talking and always writing, right? But I don't think DJT, Kelly Slater, or Tudor ever look back and say, I stepped in it over here. I think they look back on a pristine record in their own eyes. They're not ever
Perfect.
Self-critical.
So also a perfect segue to my next thought or note for the show, which is the most recent episode of How Surfers Get Paid on Stab Magazine. It's called The Style Economy, or The Economy of Style, or something like that. And Joel features prominently in it. And did we already discuss this at all?
No, I don't think so. We discussed, I think, the previous episode, but not this one.
So they basically, one of the initial they often get somebody versus somebody else kind of in this series. Two opposing viewpoints. And the two opposing viewpoints in this were Joel Tudor and Chris Malloy. And they were talking about the film Shelter. And Joel Tudor was basically saying he's been not maybe uncredited, but also just undervalued for his influence in the Ride Anything movement that Shelter was kind of the turning point for. There was a lot of pointy thrusters before, high performance, ripping. And then from that movie, it was highly influential and a lot of people came out riding different boards. Well, Joel points to himself and he says basically, all those guys who had been on the CT, they invited me to come and I came and I shaped boards. I brought single fins, and he goes, they showed up wearing super colorful attire. Look at what they started wearing after the fact. And he points to the Malloy brothers specifically. And he's like, those guys end up going to work for Patagonia. And then they start wearing all black wetsuits. They all start riding totally different boards. He's like, I'm the reason. So he didn't say it. He didn't sugarcoat it at all. It was very much, I'm the reason.
Yeah.
And I don't get credited for it. And then they cut to Chris Malloy, and Chris Malloy's like, we've been riding single fin since we were kids. Look at the way we grew up. Look at, us working on farms in Hollister Ranch as an adult is a reflection of our childhood, being away from the limelight, all of that. Joel had nothing to do with it. We were thrilled to have him there and he contributed a lot to that trip, but it's insane to think that that was the turning point for us. So that's a whole conversation that I suppose we could have. But my Christmas gift to myself yesterday was I rewatched Shelter. I had seen it. I've seen the film 100 times. I loved it when it came out and for the following decade, but I hadn't seen it in a while since. I rewatched it and I was like, I love that Joel is provocative. I love that he says what's on his mind. I believe that he fully believes that thought that he shared in the How Surfers Get Paid thing, but it's wildly incorrect.
Yeah.
I rewatched it and I go, Joel has the least impressive surf footage of anybody in the film. And I love Joel, by the way. I like him personally, individually, and I like his surfing. But least impressive clips. The boards are, especially the older boards that he's riding in the film, are inhibiting his surfing ability. So he's going down the line and then he does a carve, and carves down and gets a little tube. He's switching stance. It's cool. Cut to the next clip, and it's Ross Williams ripping the bag out of it with incredible style, Cut to Donovan Frankenreiter doing really great surfing too. Cut to Keith Malloy doing airs. It's everybody's shredding in that, and then Joel's cruising. And it's dude, in your mind, I don't know what you think was influential about it, but, I don't think Chris Malloy certainly doesn't feel that way, who made the film and all that kind of thing, but really kind of interesting to look.
Was in Shelter, I can't remember, is Joel only on longboards or is he's riding different craft?
Yeah. Under 7 foot single fins, I'd say. And a little of everything.
I mean, and good on Joel, right? For maintaining you were exactly right. He has done, the only other longboarder I can name is Devin Howard. That's it. I got 2. I got Joel Tudor and Devin Howard. Got nobody. Robert Wingnut Weaver got 3. But Joel, obviously, I think for the retro movement that we are living in today, or not living in today per se, but how surfboard or longboarding in particular went from high performance to back, 60s retro style. I think obviously Joel deserves a huge amount of credit for that, except I wonder though, like the Donald J. Trump and the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, you got to think as soon as DJT is out of the presidency, his name is getting ripped straight off that building, right?
For sure.
Particularly if a Democrat wins in 3 years or whatever. I feel similar with Joel, like his contributions to whatever you want to call the way longboarding looks today. People just rip him off the building because they don't like his that kind of stuff.
Maybe so. The thing is, I think it's impossible to identify Joel's influence because it is so pervasive. Like there'd be no way to pull Joel's name out of the conversation and still have a conversation about the Ride Anything movement. But from his perspective, or at least as he delivers it in this How Surfers Get Paid series, he is the fulcrum.
Yeah.
And he even says, like, the other reference point was Thomas Campbell's series of films. And Joel says, yeah, I was the star of those films, basically.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, those films became popular because of me, and what I was doing in that then influenced what these other people were doing in the film. And I'm like, I agree, like he's inextricable from the conversation, but I don't think it's the center point of the conversation or to take any of the limelight away from Thomas Campbell's work as a filmmaker or the other example, Chris Malloy's work as a filmmaker. These are their films. You're a character in them. And I think that the films, if you take Joel out of the films, I think these are still phenomenal films. Sure. And that's kind of my point about him producing the least kind of compelling clips in Shelter, is I think you can remove him from the film and the film still stands alone.
Do you think Joel knows what do you think he knows what he's doing and like, hey man, my name is it's another day, another headline for Joel Tudor. Good on you. Or do you think he's like actually bitter that he doesn't get the recognition that he feels he deserves and is going to grow more and more bitter the more people kind of dismiss him just because they don't like his attitude or the perception of him?
I think it's a mix of both, but I wouldn't use the word bitter. I think there's a chip on a shoulder mentality because the facts are he has gotten paid less than anybody else who had similar titles. He did not get the same contract offers as, shortboarders or whatever else. So I think there's kind of a reason or there's facts that he can hang his hat on that do justify a chip on his frustration. Shoulder.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting in life is that it's hard to tell the chicken before the egg. Are the contracts not coming because you have a chip on your shoulder? Or did you not get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Did you actually deserve that chip? Did you get
people not
pushed to the corner?
Did people not want to work with you because you view the world that way? Maybe. And that's why those paychecks didn't come or those contract offers didn't come. It's really impossible to disentangle. But just as a fan of surfing, I love having him and I love having his commentary, and I'll click and watch. And I love that he did that to Maddix too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as a fan of, that was the thing that was interesting in surf that week, right? That was, or especially that day. Like, it was very funny. I don't know how funny it was to Maddix or Joel, but the commentary was funny about it. When people sent me this, I got blown up, obviously, with that story or with that Instagram clip. And again, since I'm blocked by Joel Tudor, I had to ask people, because I couldn't read any of his comments. But everybody was more than happy to screen grab and share with me. And I was just reading along, chuckling away. It was very entertaining. And if professional surfing ain't entertaining, then why do we watch?
Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on from that. I'm sure it'll come up again in 2 weeks when he says something else about somebody. But one thought about, I mentioned Ross Williams in Shelter, And he was just such a phenomenal surfer from that era. Like, he's a name that I don't mention very often, but a couple of his clips were just really, really amazing to me.
I feel that for some reason, Ross got painted with the WSL brush in a way that he shouldn't have, at least for me, right? My first thought when I think of Ross Williams is not his phenomenal surfing. It's him as a WSL commentator.
Yeah.
And then my second thought is him as John John's coach, right? Yeah. Not that he did a bad job as a WSL commentator, and obviously done a phenomenal job, I suppose, coaching John. But that's what I think of him as primarily. I don't think of him as a epic surfer first and foremost.
Well, look, he got overshadowed. No, there was 20 Momentum Generation surfers. Some were A-list, B-list, and C-list probably in that 20. But I think that he just got overshadowed by more boisterous, flamboyant characters because his surfing was in the A class, but he was just mild-mannered and mild-natured. Yeah. And so it was the responsibility of the brands to really force him in front of our face because he never would have done it on his own. But the style of surfing that he does, there was moments of it that reminded me, that was like Curren-esque, where he doesn't have the exact same style as Curren, but his approach and his positioning is similar. And I just found it to be really, really beautiful. And even, when he wasn't necessarily doing like the gnarliest turn, it was just, like I said, his positioning and his approach on the wave were just like the way he pulled into a closeout, let's say.
Yeah.
Just like freaking A, dude. Like, I've done the times where I've done what I wanted to do in surfing, or where I felt like maybe it might have been beautiful, I could count on one hand. And I've been surfing.
Count on one finger.
I mean, can you really? You did something once?
I probably, definitely one hand. Yeah. Where I right off the top of my head thinking about it, which is all that I have for sure, because I've got two waves. I got two waves where I finished the wave and I thought, you know what? That probably looked like I wanted it to look.
Can you describe them, or do you want to describe them? What you did?
One was out at the reefs here in Cardiff by the Sea, and I was on the mid, and it was a bigger day, and I dropped in super late, like knife drop in, and I felt the barrel, like I almost got barreled on the takeoff. It didn't barrel down the line, but heard the hollow sound and over the shoulder. And then I did whatever I did on the wave. Probably wasn't that great, but the drop I think was really great. And it felt great. And then confirmation on the paddle back out, somebody said that was a sick drop. So I thought, okay, it was probably similar to how it felt.
Gotcha.
What's yours?
I can only think of one off the top of my head, but like I said, there's probably been 5 times. I've surfed for 30 years.
Yes.
And there's probably 5 times where I felt like I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which is crazy statistically. But the one that I can think of off the top of my head was Huntington Beach, around 9th Street, a day, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, maybe longer, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I borrowed a board from Album when we used to record there. Matt was generous enough to be like, hey, you want to try this? And it was a used board, and I think the model was the Townsend model, but it was asymmetrical, and it was maybe a 6'6". So I think that model's like a mid-length, really before the huge mid-length trend. So maybe it was longer ago. But it was a mid-length in length, but it was really foiled and more high-performance style mid-length, and it was asymmetrical. And I've been kicking myself ever since that I didn't try to buy the board from him, because I loved it, and then I just gave it back so I could borrow something else, I think. But I always regretted that. But it was a morning dawn patrol session. Sun was just kind of coming up, so it goes straight into your face when you're going right in Southern California. And waves are good. It was like a little less than head high, maybe shoulder high, glassy, little light offshore breeze, and a perfect right came to me. And I was just kind of in the back door section of it. Like I could pull in off the takeoff. I could see it coming. I'm like, this thing's glorious, and it's coming right to me. And I got to my feet, just like hugged the takeoff at the back door, starts barreling perfectly over me. The barrel blocks the sunlight because it's blinding in that golden morning sun. But once it barrels over me, it blocks the blindingness of it. And then I get to see everything at that point. So it's like you're paddling in, you're kind of squinting. You're like, I think this thing's going to barrel, but you're squinting. And then you get to your feet and then boom, the shadow comes because you're in the barrel. And then it was like lit up golden. The face and the curvature of the wave as it's barreling was all lit up in a golden way because of that. And then it just puffed and spit me out, not a spit, but just like, I just was standing there, like got to my feet, was just standing there and like, oh shoot, I'm actually in the tube. This is cool. And then just puffed out of it, clean, easy, kicked out of the wave. And I was like, that was as simple as it comes. It was the perfect wave, came right to me. I didn't have to paddle hard to get it and just did exactly what I was supposed to do. Kicked out of the wave. It was over before I knew it. And I was like, that is exactly what I intended to do. What you would always want to have happen in surfing, And similarly, a guy who had been paddling out, he was kind of, I think, early paddling. He was like further in. And so I paddled out and sat, and then he came over and said something nice to me about that wave. He's like, that was a perfect little wave. You surfed that thing flawlessly. And I was like, well, should probably go in now.
30 years. It only took 30 years to get there, David Lee Scales.
Yeah.
30 years of how many waves? How many waves during those 30 years?
Countless.
To get one.
10,000.
Just think, too, that what is Ross Williams and what did Ross Williams? Is he 100% of the waves he surfs? He surfs them exactly as he intends? Or let's give him some fudge. Let's say he surfs 80% of the waves he surfs exactly as both they're meant to be surfed and as he wants to surf them.
No, I don't think so. I think he would give you the same stats we just gave. He'd probably do 5.
Really?
Well, he's on... I
can watch it, though.
It remained...
I can watch footage of you.
But to him, it wasn't good enough. Like, I think... I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just remember I heard Kelly Slater say in a surf film from a filmmaker named Mark Kozai, VHS film. I think it was called What Now? Or he had a series of films. What Now? What Next? Anyways, it was one of those. And he says, I've never kicked out of a wave and felt like I couldn't have improved upon how I surfed it.
Okay, then. Well, there we go.
So I don't know if Ross maintains the same mentality that we do, but I would think that he does.
Well, I'm going to reach out to Ross Williams if I'm not blocked and ask.
Okay, good. Get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Speaking of Curren, Derek posted a little marketing video from the Wave Garden in Spain that featured Tom Curren surfing it, which is, the commentary from Derek was unbelievable how good Tom Curren surfs. Even in a pool, this wave's like kind of not that great. It's kind of not great to look good on, or it's not easy to look good on. And Curren just continues to be Curren. And I had a different thought when I watched it, which was,
what did you think?
Does he dye his hair?
Ooh, does he? I can't imagine it.
Well, it's blondish. It's like a blonde that you would have to dye your hair. I think his hair would be mostly gray at this point. I think it is mostly gray. But in this, there's like blonde in it. And then I was thinking when he was on Sterling Spencer's show 2 weeks ago, he's wearing a hat, but it looks like it's blonde underneath. I think he's bleaching his hair specifically.
It stands to reason, I suppose. I was going to say that would go against the whole Tom Curren au revoir, except for I've met enough dudes in my life who would not seem like hair dyers or bleachers or any. They wouldn't, they're manly men. You don't fiddle with your hair, right? You get it cut. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Who dye or bleach or whatever. And so I think it is a kink for a certain percentage of the male population. And there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. Like it can go against every bit of their aesthetic, and yet they still do.
I almost thought for a second kook and Curren situation, because I would think, yeah, kooks fiddle with their hair as men, but we can't apply it because there's tons of intermediate people who do it too.
All kinds. And I'm somewhat regularly surprised by the dude who like dyes away the gray, right? And I'm looking at him thinking, why? I mean, you maybe, some are better than others. Some you're not fooling anyone. Why not just let it go? But most of them, I'm like, it looks good, right? I always think like if you can go kind of salt and pepper, George Clooney style, it's dignified when you're older. It's, sharp looking. Like I feel it's I don't know, you earned that, right? And so why are you scrubbing it?
No idea. So I think I have evidence that Tom does dye his hair. And the evidence is, can you name his hair color, or can you think of a consistent hair color from Tom?
No, I mean, because it was brown sun bleached in his like OP Pro days.
Yeah. It was like brown hair that
That
was
got bleached with
lightened by
sun.
the sun.
And then I feel it became then just brown, as hair does the older you get. And so ergo, it should be brown sprinkled with gray today. It should be like my crap color of hair, whatever this is.
I've seen every version that you just said in recent years, like in the last 5 years, let's say, of seeing Tom Curren in person and on the internet. I've seen it be brown, like a 30-year-old man's hair. I've seen it have gray, like probably when it was in its natural state. I've seen it now bleached, even at times. And then I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, you know what? In Free Scrubber, I think it might have been bleached. So,
Does Tom have I can't remember his partner spouse. Does he have a younger wife?
no. Well, I don't know her age, but they're similar ages.
Similar age. Because that seems like something that you got the younger wife, who's like, hey, this is fun. Let's do this. But it doesn't seem like it's the older wife's purview.
No, and I've met her before. She's totally not of that.
Yeah.
Ilk. Or
So she's walking around the corner into the bathroom. There's Tom with the dye bottles. Hey, honey. She's like, oh man, this again?
I mean, he's a musician, so musicians dye their hair.
Yeah, I guess
There's
so.
a stereotype there.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah, interesting, right? And then the other thought I had from watching that footage was, it's amazing how great of a surfer he is, and he still can't do an air.
Yeah.
He tries to hit an end section, and he literally gets as far as I would if I tried to do an air.
Okay, here's then the question I have for you. Do you want to see Tom Curren doing an air, or would that be so against the mystique, it would make Tom Curren mortal if he went to the air? Even if he did a good air.
I'm not saying I want to see him do an air. I'd be fine if he gets to that end section and he chooses to crack it instead of going for the air. But he is such a talented surfer. Like, he knows the surfboard so well. He knows body mechanics so well that you would think he would just be able to, if he wanted to, do an air and land.
Maybe he knows. Maybe it's like Samson's hair. Maybe he did the deal. He did the deal, and the deal was, I will make you surf better than anyone ever has on the face of the wave. If you dare tempt me by leaving the face of the wave, all of it crumbles.
Yeah.
And Tom Curren made the Faustian, either the Faustian bargain or whatever bargain it was, that's the deal, is you will have superpowers as long as you stay on the face of the wave.
You mixed a lot of metaphors, but it made sense. Final surf news bit. This is just, I don't know that we need to really discuss this very much. It was just my favorite headline of the week, again, written by Derek, and it said, quote, Olympian Julian Wilson shelves comeback to concentrate on LGBTQ-friendly leisurewear, exclamation point.
Very, 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 very funny. I chuckled at that so much that I thought I'd say, wait a second, and had to go look again at, what is it, Rivian? No. Rivia. To see if there had been a pivot to the LGBTQ market. And there was none that I could find at first perusal.
It was just Derek's own assessment of the clothing and the LGBTQ leisurewear demographic vibe.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, funny, hilarious, actually. And the story there is that Julian Wilson obviously made the final of a CT event this last year as a wild card, which nobody saw coming, and then had, I think, a bit of a run on the CS series, or got a wild card to compete in the Challenger Series events this year, which then might put him into contention for qualification. And then he took to Instagram and said, I'm not taking the wild card for those Challenger Series events. I'm just going to focus on my leisure wear brand.
it's one of those things I would think that it sounds and looks a lot better before you start doing it. And then when you're in the grind of like, I got to leave, I have a business. Let's assume that Rivia is making some money or, something. Like, I'm going to step away from both family and business to go do what again? To go, surf with 3 other dudes in probably not the best conditions, and then I get on the CT, and now I'm on the CT. And why am I here again? Like, I'm never going to win this thing at this point. Like, I could win one event maybe, but I'm not going to. So why am I doing tour? Where once you start, you'd be like, I had a few too many last night, and becoming a pro surfer again sounded the thing to do. But in the cold, sober light of morning, nope.
With the wife and kids and everything, it's just way too much. Well, I think we had a bet. I don't think we made it a bet officially, but I think you and I were on opposing opinions, sides of the opinion on whether or not Rivia would ever do anything. And at the time when he launched it, I was like, this is going away in 6 months, but whatever. And you were like, no, I think it could work. I think it might have staying power. Gotta say, I'm shocked at how far it's gone. So
I think that he was, and again, I don't know, I haven't seen the books. Julian Wilson has not come over to my house and asked me for my financial advice yet and how to deal with the windfall that Rivia is making. But I think he was early on to that pivot of, hey, golfers and stuff will wear surf clothes. It's hard to get surfers to wear surf clothes. Let's make surf clothes for golfers kind of thing, which seemed smart, right? It seems like, I see Travis Mathis, or I see all kinds of bullcrap on people who golf. Like, people who golf must have no shame also. They must be like Donald Trump, Kelly Slater, and Joel Tudor. Shameless. When they wear their golf stuff out, it is so crap looking, right? It's so tech fabric crap. I'm like, man, okay, cool. You play golf. Great. But the fact that I'm sure that Travis Mathis or Matthews or whatever it is brand, I'm sure they're crushing it. I see that thing on rich dudes all the time. Yeah. And I have no doubt that each one of those crazy tech fabric polo shirts costs like $150, right? Yep. But so Julian going there saying, oh, wait, these people actually spend money to look bad. There's something I can do over here.
Yep. And then he found an tiny upstart with huge potential electric vehicle manufacturer, and made a name that was very similar, so there could be market confusion, and he could benefit from that.
Well, hopefully he doesn't go off and sue or get sued by Rivian and end up like our dear poor Matt Biolis.
Exactly. Well, good work with Surf News this week, Chaz. Let's go to commercial break. I'm going to come back not only with Barrel or Not, but a couple of follow-ups from last week's bodyboarding conversation and Freshy's surfboard conversation.
Great.
All right, welcome back from break.
I hope people got Quince stuff over Christmas.
Man, oh man. So after the Quince caviar conversation, that day I got done recording, went to quince.com/surf, tried to order some caviar. It was sold out.
Whoa. How'd you get me my caviar then?
So there's a little email thing, and it goes, would you like to be notified when this comes back in stock? And I was like, I guess this is exactly what I want. So I put my email in there. 5 days later, got an email notification, caviar is back in stock.
Man, it is. So David Lee Scales got me a caviar for Christmas after our caviar conversation. Was that on Nova Rot or was it here?
It was on Barrel or Not here.
Barrel or Not here. So yes, after our caviar conversation, I couldn't have been more happy for anything, and just the thoughtfulness, David Lee. Thank you so much. Christmas Day is also the wife's birthday, and nothing is celebratory like popping a magnum of rosé champagne and then having some caviar off the mother of pearl spoon.
So I got myself one too, and I'm saving it for New Year's Eve. And thankfully, a lot of people around me don't want it, don't like it. Yeah. So I'm like, I got the whole tin to myself. I'm going all out. I'm going to do a fried chicken with caviar. I'm going to do deviled eggs with caviar. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Ah, that's a good idea to do the deviled eggs with caviar. Yesterday, wife's gluten free and went down and tried to get blini, and they did not have any anyway. But I forgot one of my
You can
silly.
make it so easily.
Oh, make a blini. I
It's
should
like
have.
3 ingredients. It's the same thing as a pancake. Just
Oh, really?
yeah,
I'm
basically.
gonna make some blinis today. But anyway, we did it on. I always love it this way too. On a salt and pepper ridged potato chip is really fine.
I like it on a potato chip. You got to get a delicate potato chip. You don't want too much crunchiness on that.
No. These ones they were like small little. Yeah, it wasn't like the full chip. It was like a little piece of the chip with the creme fraiche, with the red onion, with the caviar. Boom.
The other alternative, if you're ever in a bind and you don't want to make the blini, brioche works fantastic.
Oh, great. I'll go get some brioche today.
Yeah,
Sounds
brioche.
like a good idea.
Get the brioche that's already sliced, toast it a tiny bit, money.
Done.
Okay, follow up. People love that we celebrated bodyboarding with the Tension 11 film. I got some super thoughtful responses to that. One came in the form of a PDF. I was like, what the heck? You can just write it in the text in the body of the email if you want. But I opened the PDF and it was like really well written, multiple paragraphs. So I'm going to structure a way to maybe share some of those in the coming weeks. But
Great.
yeah.
So I was worried, and I'm glad that I was worried that we were going to get from the bodyboarding community, like, you wankers are sitting there talking. I mean, I said it thankfully during the recording, but you guys think you're going to come down and grace us with your presence. You are going to, and how bad that might come across. So did you get any notes like, you buttholes stay in your own lane?
Not at all. It was
Don't want you, don't need you.
every one of them from bodyboarders specifically was like, you guys, I'm glad you finally see the light. Congratulations.
Great.
Yeah.
Did it make you want to pick up the fin and the bodyboard?
Yes, it did.
Great.
Yeah. At least just to have it in the quiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Okay. The other thing, we were having a conversation that the word freshies needs to get replaced when people are talking about their new surfboard. I got some submissions. These all came from one listener, and I think he nailed it. Mint. Mint as a
nice.
replacement for freshies.
Nice.
Virgin. Untapped. Pre-wax. Hot off the press. Unworked. Exclamation point. Or cherry.
I like it. I like particularly mint, unwaxed, cherry. I got a cherry board.
Yeah.
Like it.
I think
like them all.
I think mint. I'm going mint as my front runner.
Well, here's the best part of it, though. The reason Freshie became dumb is because of its overusage, right?
Yeah.
He did the real work, listener, thank you, of multiple options. So now we don't all have to say the same thing, right?
Yep.
If you hear everybody saying mint, you go do another one. There's plenty there to choose from.
Good point. Great point. I'm going to write something down for next week. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got a few barrel or Nas, and guess what? They are all New Year's related because by the time we record this next week, I think it's going to be New Year's, the day after New Year's. So we're going to have New Year's.
No, because we're going to record on Monday.
Oh,
You forgot. Your empty week just got destroyed by Monday.
What I mean is, this is our only chance to do barrel or Nah for New Year's advice.
Yes.
Because we don't do barrel or Nah on Noble Rot. So this one we've done before, but it is worth revisiting, and that is making New Year's resolutions. Barrel or Nah?
Barrel. I'm going barrel this year. I think I've gone nah in the past. This year, though, with the gluttony, with the lack of self-control, with all of it, it's important to have self-control, right? And it's hard, I think, sometimes to arbitrarily layer on self-control, right? Like you know what? I'm coming home on this Thursday and I'm not going to eat a cheeseburger, or I'm not going to have a beer, or whatever it is. And there's no reason not to, right? And as an adult, you can say, why am I putting this arbitrary crap on myself? But it's important. Self-control is important. New Year's resolutions, a perfect time to exercise even a modicum of self-control. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, for my New Year's resolution this year, it's taking things away. It's not I'm going to start working out or whatever. But even that's self-control, right? Most of any resolution, whether it's doing something or taking something away, self-control.
Okay, I'm going barrel on New Year's resolutions, but my approach has changed over the years for what I think works for me. And I don't like having big shifts that you're talking about. Like if I have to say January 1st, I'm going to cut out something entirely or change my life radically, that never lasts for me. It's better for me to work in baby steps. And also, if I fail at whatever the endeavor is, I don't want to feel like such a loser. It's like, it's okay if the hamburger or the cheeseburger thing, like I'm not going to eat a cheeseburger when I get home. And then you get home and you're like, you know what? I'm going to have the cheeseburger, but you know what? Let's make a compromise. I don't need a whole cheeseburger. I have this craving. I just want to satiate the craving. I have a couple of bites. I'm not a loser now. I just made a compromise, and tomorrow I'm going to wake up not feeling like a loser. Because if I wake up tomorrow feeling like I failed, it all crumbles from that point on.
Then you're done.
Yeah. So I want it to be like, let's have a compromise. I'm going to have a quarter of a burger. I don't feel terrible after a quarter of a burger. I wake up in the morning and I go, did I fail yesterday? No, I didn't hit the goal that I planned to hit, but today I will. I'm going to try a little bit harder, you know?
I like it.
So that's kind of the way I work, and, or what I found works for me. But throughout the course of the year, there's things that I want to execute, and I'll use kind of the podcast as an example of, we want to generate more social media content and Look, we're publishing shows weekly, but we're not really letting Instagram know when we publish a show and how can we do. So I always throughout the year have a design for what I would like that to look like, but it's hard to implement it on a week to week. New Year's provides an opportunity where it's like fresh start. Now's the time to implement it. If you've been wanting to do something for a big time, here's a specific date that you can just choose as a marker to set out on that mission. And again, you're not going to do it flawlessly executed immediately, but at least
better.
Yes, at least choose a date to get 1% better at each day, you know? And so that's why I like having those kind of hallmark dates throughout the calendar.
I like it.
So barrel.
Big barrel.
Okay.
Got even bigger as you were talking.
It was a grower. Barrel or NOS, celebrating New Year's on a different time zone. Like you're on the West Coast, it's 9 p.m., but I'm going to celebrate the East Coast so I can get to bed earlier.
No barrel. Because here's what I think about New Year's also. New Year's is not a day that you have to celebrate, right? You can go to bed before midnight. Who cares? Who cares? Like, I suppose there's some point when you're very young that matter, or when you're, I don't know, late teens, early 20s or something, where it matters, right? Where, I saw in the new year. No, it doesn't matter. This is all like Valentine's Day, really. I feel New Year's is kind of hallmarky in terms of the way they want you to celebrate. The way they want you to celebrate is kind of a money grab. Let's be honest, right?
So you're not into celebrating at all for New Year's?
No, you celebrate it how you want.
Okay.
You celebrate you getting into bed at 9 p.m., shutting off the old lights, watching a movie, nodding off because you can, right? Because it's all great. Like, however you celebrate New Year's, however you want to celebrate. I think it is important to, as stated with the resolutions, to note, to not just have life be one flat line, right? Yeah. To note, and maybe to think back upon, now 2025 is in the books. What were things that I appreciated about? What were things I would have liked to change? Looking forward to the new year. I think this is all valuable, but I think it has nothing to do with Ryan Seacrest and balls dropping.
The reason I never watch those, and the reason is because I've tuned in temporarily, and they're just filibustering.
Yeah.
It's not like there's some I guess there's probably programming, but to my eyes, it doesn't seem like there's any programming or any insights shared. It's just, we're filibustering from 8 p.m. until midnight.
And we're trying to keep you here. We're going to try to keep you here with like names, right? We're going to have Timothy Chalamet is going to swing by the set and say hi and da-da-da-da-da. And where you kind of just drone on and, But to what end? Nothing's good. The performances are good. And then you watch the ball drop and that's dumb. And all of it's dumb.
I was so disappointed when I was a kid and I finally made it up till midnight and I had heard about the ball dropping and I had seen pictures of the giant ball in Times Square way up there. To my young kid brain, I thought they were dropping that glass ball onto the ground and you watch it shatter.
Epic.
Which in my mind would be the ultimate celebration.
Cool.
The coolest thing you could do, the only thing worth staying up for. And then I finally made it till midnight one time when I was probably like 12 years old, and it just moves down a pole a little bit.
Yeah.
And then everybody celebrated. I was like, what the hell? Where's the shattering?
That's a real ripoff. That is a proper ripoff.
Yeah, I'm going to create a new tradition, I think.
Yeah, you could do it in the backyard.
Exactly. Somebody else's backyard, so I don't have to clean it up.
Yeah.
The final barrel and awe you may have already answered with your answer you just gave, but midnight kissing.
You know, I'm going to go barrel if you're up and you're celebrating in that way, in the kind of traditional, let's say black tie, let's say you're in a ballroom, go for it. But now that I'm thinking about it, okay, let's say you're black tie, Lauren, sharp as a tack, you guys, ballroom, champagne, da-da-da-da-da, there's ball drops or whatever, midnight strikes. There's a beautiful woman standing next to you and a very dashing man standing next to Lauren. You guys kiss each other. Those two are now looking. Would you kiss beautiful woman and have Lauren kiss dashing man?
Hell no. The only way you could pitch that is somehow through circumstance, Lauren and I get separated and we're on opposing sides of the room, but the person next to you, do you go in for a kiss with that person next to you?
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking you. Okay, so better scenario. No, you look at what if she's puckering up? She's sitting next to you, puckering up, just waiting. It's not going to be like a gratuitous, she's not wanting, it's not an eyes wide shut situation here. She's just celebrating as you do.
Nope.
Just a little peck.
Can't go for it.
Good job.
Not even inclined to go for it. There's no temptation.
If you looked over and saw across the room Lauren giving a little peck to a dashing gentleman, would you feel, oh.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the hell was that about? Be like, what was the impulse you were acting on right there? But I'm all for the midnight kiss. Now, it is obviously not only tradition, but it's celebratory. It's like, let's celebrate this accomplishment, got through the year, kick off a new year. Great way to celebrate with a kiss. I'm barrel for it. But I don't think I've ever been in a scenario where I was single at a mixed event where it was like kissing a stranger because of the tradition.
Would you have wished for that? If you looking back on your single years, do you wish that you had put yourself at a better spot on New Year's?
I can't imagine kissing a stranger.
Really? I mean, it's the one time you have, really. I mean, I'm sure maybe in other cultures, I don't know, do you kiss somebody on St. Patrick's Day or anything else?
I don't know.
Yeah, but we know this, right? So you could fully do it. And if you did it well, if you weren't like halting and like, oh, I guess it's kissy time or something like that, then like you could have sparked something beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
memory.
I guess there's people who are desperate for human connection, and that's an opportunity to connect with fellow man or woman. I've never been in that space. I think I'm grateful to say I've always had enough connection with human beings to where I was never like clamoring for an opportunity to, yeah, exactly. But I guess in some other alternate scenario, other than the multiples that we've already painted, if I was in a mixed company at a social event and the hottest woman in the room who I was physically attracted to happened to be sidled up next to me for that moment, maybe you could seize that as an opportunity to make a meet cute, you know,
sure.
Where it's like, oh my God, what are the odds that we come together on New Year's Eve? And she's almost expecting a kiss. I'd feel like a jerk if I didn't give it to her. Sure, maybe I'd go for that one.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And as we've been discussing, I said get into bed at 9 p.m. And by all means, get into bed at 9 p.m. The one thing you don't do on New Year's is stay up and watch stupid TV, right? I mean, or watch the Ryan Seacrest show TV thing. But as we're talking, I'm thinking the times I've been out for a proper New Year's party that goes through midnight, I think all of them have been enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like,
The mood is good for those.
Yeah, it's good. It's like you're actually there for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, even though the reason is fairly insignificant, it's still a reason. And so to be somewhere with a reason always feels better than just a random why am I here party.
Yeah. I agree with you. And I think that coming off of the lost week too, it's like people are they're ready to turn the page, get back to work, start anew, all that thing. So New Year's Eve out is a great night.
I really love, though, the fact, as tradition happens, you're going to be like have the best, biggest opportunity to both be drunkest and go to bed way latest the day before, theoretically, you start work again. We're wiping another 3 days of hangover and sleepiness. Like, we're going to smear the front of 2026 with that.
And to start your resolution of either not drinking or not eating overly. You're like, blow it out.
Yeah. Man. Well,
we'll be back here on January 2nd to pick up the broken pieces.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Yeah. Do you have any New Year's Eve plans?
We are going out. We're going out, doing a dinner, hotel, all that.
Sweet. Great. Are you going to watch the new year come in from the window pane of your hotel room?
We'll see where the night goes.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, can't wait to hear.
Yeah, I'll fill you in next week. All right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I got to say, I've got some incredibly kind end of year appreciation notes from listeners. And yeah, I feel very, warmed by everybody's comments. So thank you so much, listenership. Yeah, absolutely.
Humbled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Everyone who listens throughout the year. I mean, fun conversation and fun because you are the best part of the conversation. 9 times out of 10, listener.
It's been a ton of fun getting to know them and doing the work and seeing the work evolve with their feedback and everything. So thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I'm going to go eat some prime rib leftover right now.
Man, I wish I had some of that. I wish I had beef Wellington in my fridge, actually. You really got me on beef Wellington. It's weird. I never once thought of it before you started talking about it. And then I had one and I was like, where have you been all my life?
It's so good. It is. That's my traditional Christmas meal. And we bucked the trend to go with the algorithm suggestion this year. And I don't regret it. Wellington will be back in rotation. But for today, prime rib.
Well, go enjoy.
All right. Thank you.
Keep work.